7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes over and great stop. And then he hammers it home. Broke his ankles.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well as the New York Knicks just came out victorious on the road versus the Orlando Magic, winning 118-88. And yeah, this was a bloodbath. This was just an awful game if you're someone that's interested in watching competitive basketball, which I'm sure all of you guys are. And I'm going to keep it completely real with you guys. This win meant nothing. This game in general, there was no storyline. There wasn't much competitiveness. There wasn't something really cool to look forward to in this basketball game. Maybe seeing the young guys play like an Obi Toppin and seeing how the offense runs through an RJ instead of a Julius Randle, at least when RJ Barrett does have the ball. And it's completely weird, like this Orlando Magic game, because the first time we played the Orlando Magic, or the last 3 times we played them, we were actually competing for something. We were actually competing for the play-in. We were actually competing for the playoffs. Well, you could say the Orlando Magic season was really over from the very beginning. But the first time I believe we played the Orlando Magic, we broke the New York Knicks franchise record. We broke our franchise record for the most three-pointers in a game. And I remember a few plays before we hit the three-pointer, a few plays prior to hitting that big-time three-pointer to break the franchise record of three-pointers in a game, Immanuel Quickley lost his contact, and like I said, like prior, and then a few plays later, he actually went on to hit the three-pointer. It was something ridiculous like that. He had that crazy celebration covering up one eye. We know the energy Quickley brings to the game. He's an energetic dude, and he's just very positive. He loves playing the game of basketball. But then you take a look at the games after that, I believe. Franz Wagner killed us in the fourth quarter. Terrence Ross. We know Terrence Ross always kills us, but no lead is ever safe versus the Magic. Never executing down the stretch, or it's very rare when we execute versus the Orlando Magic. Back when we would play DJ Augustine, Evan Fournier, Aaron Gordon, Vucevic, back when the Magic had those guys, you know. But now, this game literally meant nothing. The Knicks weren't competing for anything, and I understand people that are upset if we won this game, which we did, because it affects our draft positioning, and I'm not going to tell someone how to root for their team, but there may be people out there that hate people that are like, you're rooting for losing. I could never root for my team to lose. And I'm not going to give you a really specific answer of I want them to win, I want them to tank, and that type of thing with these last few games down the stretch. I want what's best for our team moving forward, and I'm lukewarm about this win because, first off, this win means nothing, but also if we went on to lose, it wouldn't have affected our draft positioning that much. The best case scenario, we jump up to like the 8th best odds, and you never know what's going to go on in the lottery. Mark Tatum freaking hates us. I hate seeing that smile and him opening up that envelope, but I'm not going to be going down the littlest of details when it comes to this basketball game because it was a bloodbath. We were up 35-38 at one point in this basketball game on the road in Orlando. We won our 3rd straight road game. Woohoo! Like, wow, so excited. But the Orlando Magic, Cole Anthony left this game a couple minutes in. No Franz Wagner in this basketball game. No Wendell Carter Jr. No disrespect to Ignas Brazdeikis, but he's not a starter. He's not even a solid player. He's not even an okay player. Ignas Brazdeikis started for the Orlando Magic, and not having Wendell Carter Jr., not having Cole Anthony pretty much the entire game, no Franz Wagner, those are their 3 best players in my opinion. Franz Wagner, one of the best rookies. Wendell Carter Jr., one of the most underrated players in basketball this year in my opinion. And we know Cole Anthony, he's a microwave player. He can get hot in a hurry. You never know, he could lead a crazy comeback. But yeah, I'm not going down the little details. That would just be extremely boring. So we're going to be getting into what really matters in this game. And luckily, we didn't just see a bunch of guys play that aren't going to be here moving forward. We got to see some notable performances from the young players, which I thought was awesome. Starting off with Immanuel Quickley. First off, we know the energy he brings to the game. He plays extremely hard. You could say he plays pretty erratic at times, but he just enjoys playing the game of basketball. And you're just lying to yourself if you haven't seen him progress as a playmaker. He's not someone that's like gonna be a Tyrese Halliburton, Lonzo Ball, Chris Paul when it comes to their vision out there on the basketball floor at the point guard position. Someone made a really good point. Yes, I'm frustrated with Quickley's shot selection at times, but that's something we're gonna have to live with. After one shot he makes, it's literally heat check season for him. But he also said in the comment section, I don't know if he wants me to say his name, most point guards in the league today, even some starters, there's no such thing as a true, there's still a few true point guards out there. Like true floor general point guards, but the game has changed a lot. There's a lot of shoot first guys nowadays, but I understand people that are frustrated with the pace he plays with. at times, but he's the second youngest Knick ever to record a triple-double, which is awesome. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and he's been sneakily pretty good on the boards, which I really got to give credit to Immanuel Quickley for. Like this month, or this at least prior month, because April just started, I keep on forgetting about that. Like, he's been a pretty damn good rebounder of the basketball. He made some nice reads out of the pick and roll, finding a Mitchell Robinson. He found Sims on a very nice lob, even though I believe he only finished with 4 points, Sims. He didn't have the most exciting game. We know he's not going to put up crazy stats, and he had a pretty stupid foul, even though the game was over, being too aggressive, shoving a Mo Bamba, but he did a good job dribble penetrating, kicking out. If there's one thing he needs to take out of his game, is picking up his dribble in the weirdest places or the stupidest places at times, but he hit crazy threes. It was a reason we were up, like, pretty much this whole game, or I believe we were up this whole game. It was just an absolute bloodbath. So he was a huge reason we won this game. I thought he controlled the flow of the offense well. He played hard on both ends of the floor. We absolutely could destroyed them in the paint, by the way, if it's us getting floaters, us attacking the basket, and one opportunities, or like a 3-point play opportunity. I believe we killed them 50-28 or 50-29 in the paint. Yeah, 50-28. We killed them when it came to the fast break. We just demolished them, and I thought we did a good job moving the basketball, which I got to give credit to Quickley for. I thought he did a good job really orchestrating the offense when he came off the bench, or even when he was with Burks, when he had those ball handling duties and Burks would be off the ball. Burks had a pretty solid game as well. I believe he finished with 19 points. He scored the ball fairly well. I got to give credit to Burks. He was another reason we won this basketball game. So now we're talking about passing. 29 assists. Obi Toppin was one of the main reasons. No disrespect to Julius Randle, but when Obi Toppin's in the game, it's a lot more enjoyable to watch. There's more ball movement. There's more of that extra pass. There's no isolation basketball. It's really rare. RJ's gonna have his isolation basketball of give me the ball, I'm going to look to go to work. Sometimes he has tunnel vision going to the basket, but we know that's what RJ's game is. He looks to attack a lot, but he also sometimes has eyes in the back of his head to make the right read. But I love the way Obi Toppin played. You could say we didn't really utilize him right, and he had a second straight 20-point game, and 20 points was his career high last night, or yesterday. He recorded his career high, and then he had 20 again. I know it's the Orlando Magic, but I like the aggressiveness he played with. I thought he did a good job positioning himself inside. We know he's a rim runner. He can throw it down. But he should not be attempting 10 threes. I believe he has a much better touch and a better shot than his field goal percentage indicates from beyond the arc, shooting less than 30%. He's starting to widen his base, and he has a pretty solid form. I believe one of the main reasons he's not that great of a three-point shooter, sometimes he can shoot it too strong, and sometimes he puts not a lot of legs in it. It's because when he would play, or there would still be games in the season, even though Thibodeau's starting to give him minutes, he would play in like 10 to 11 minutes, and it's hard to really get into a rhythm in 10 or 11 minutes. When you put someone in a role that's barely out there on the floor and you have them stand in the corner, you have to let them get reps in throughout the game. You can't just like let them be out there 2 seconds and just you yank them out of the game after they miss one shot. You're really expecting them to make one shot like right off the bat. You have to let them get into the flow of the game, but Obi Toppin, he did a good job passing the ball. I thought he did a solid job on the boards. I believe he finished with 8 rebounds. And the crazy thing is he finished with 20 points, and we still have him inside this box of not really utilizing him correctly. One play that really stood out, though, about Obi Toppin, and we see how his game could be expanded, or it should be even more opened up, or I don't know, just not have this vanilla offense all the time. There was one play, he was on the right wing. The Knicks let him create. We actually saw him put the ball on the floor a decent amount. He had some turnovers that I'm sure he would want back that were a little sloppy. I believe he had it on the right wing outside on the perimeter. Then he dribbled, kind of probed around, pulled up from mid-range territory like this fall-away jumper off the dribble, and he got like a friendly roll, and I was like, I like that, Obi, I like that. But we know the energy he brings to the game. He's always going to play hard, but it's just crazy. We don't even play him throughout his strengths, and he has shown that he can thrive. Again, though, it is against the Orlando Magic, but Obi Toppin played well, and you got to be encouraged by that. 2 straight 20-point games, and it resulted in a W, even though the W doesn't mean anything. So Mitchell Robinson, I thought he was an absolute beast defensively. He was going up against Mo Bamba, not Wendell Carter Jr. I feel like that would have been a totally different assignment of Wendell Carter Jr., underrated passer. He could stretch the floor like Mo Bamba as well, but I feel like he's more of a physical freak of nature inside. And like I said, he's been playing some underrated basketball this year, averaging, I believe, like 13 and 10 or nearly a double-double. We know Mo Bamba is more of an inconsistent player, but you could say his upside is higher. But Mitchell Robinson was a beast defensively, and he was pretty solid offensively. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, did a good job on the glass, utilizing his athleticism, boxing out, and he also had 4 steals and 5 blocks. He was a man possessed, and he was one of the main reasons we were really controlling the paint and making them feel intimidated. If it was an RJ Hampton driving down the lane, Ignas, whoever it was driving down the lane, I thought he did a good job just making the offense feel intimidated. Now, getting into the last player here, because Grimes, I thought he played hard defensively, but you could tell he's still rusty. He did end up playing more minutes than Fournier, though. Fournier only played 15 minutes and was pretty much getting his cardio in. No disrespect. Grimes played 16 minutes. He just didn't hit a lot of shots, and you could also say we didn't get him involved in the offensive a lot, but he's coming off that knee thing, so he's going to be pretty rusty. McBride got some buckets, but he's not someone that's always going to heavily be utilized in the offense. We know what McBride's role is. It's for him to do the dirty work. I always think of him as like a light Marcus Smart. I feel like that's kind of his upside, or maybe that is his upside, like just a little worse Marcus Smart. And Marcus Smart's a good basketball player. But RJ Barrett, you could say he had an interesting performance. Some people could say it was good. Some people could say it was bad. I thought he had a solid performance. He finished with 27 points. He finished with 6 assists. He had 5 rebounds on 9 of 20 shooting. So when he wasn't playing in the fourth quarter, he was shooting 47% from the field, and then Thibodeau put RJ Barrett in the game when the game was completely over, of course. He took 2 shots, and of course his field goal percentage just absolutely dipped from 47% to like 39%. I'm like, pain, because I'm such a stat nerd when it comes to all these players on the team. I want them to be efficient. I want their stats to look absolutely beautiful. Like, I'm more of an eyeball test guy, but you want to see RJ become more efficient as a player. He's only shooting 40% from the field throughout his career, or throughout the season. He shot 40% back his rookie year. I understand the context behind why he's only shooting 40%. He'll be hot, then we freeze him out of the offense, and then he gets frustrated because he's like, I need a freaking score, but I've just been frozen at the offense. So then he tries to shake that rust off. He misses shots, but sometimes he can force himself at the rim, and there's some things that are just no excuse at all. Like, he missed some wide open threes from beyond the arc. He needs to learn how to consistently finish. There was one play that really just frustrated the shit out of me. Like, he averages an easy miss a game. Like, an easy look at the basket, he just misses. Like, he averages one of those a game. And I'm not trying to just get on RJ's case, but he needs to become more efficient as a finisher. And not just that, like, if he's going to shoot from mid-range, which he rarely does, I do think eventually he should add that to his game, because that's a shot that's going to be available in the playoffs if we end up making it to the playoffs in the future with him, besides this last season. And even from the outside, he needs to become efficient overall, and when it comes to his shot selection, he has to get better. But there was one play, Devin Kennedy on him. Yeah, it was Devin Kennedy. He came back from like this crazy injury when he just had some gruesome injury last year, so I'm glad he's doing okay. It was awesome to see him back out there on the floor. He was a beast in the G League with the Magic. So he was posting him up. Keep in mind, this dude looks like 5'11", 6 foot. He's not the tallest in the world. Max 6'1", 6'2". And he had the size advantage on him. He got him. He was able to just create separation, wide open opportunity at the basket, and he missed it. Like, I believe he absolutely bricked it. Sometimes I just really question his touch. I'm like, sometimes his free throws or most of his misses are just long, or when it's either long or like sometimes a brick. I'm not saying it's always a brick, but I don't know if there's some drills Drew Hanlon could work with him on when it comes to his touch, but those are extremely frustrating. But I thought we did a good job flashing him when it came to mid-range territory in the middle. I feel like we do a good job, or I like when he's being utilized flashing, because I feel like he's comfortable in that situation. He had an and-one mid-range jumper. He did have some and-ones in this game, and he had some nice aggressive plays, and he did knock down 3 at the very end. But it's about overall consistency with his efficiency, in my opinion. But I thought he played well. He was one of the main reasons we were up a lot. He finished with 27 points at the end of the day. He started shaky, missing like his first 2, or not first 2 free throws, but he missed 2 or 3 free throws early. Eventually, he started to knock them down. But it's just all about consistent finishing with RJ. Like, that's something he really needs to work on, because that's supposed to be the best part of his game, and he's inconsistent at it. And his percentages aren't great around the rim. But it's all about taking the right shots, and also the Knicks getting him involved. And it doesn't help that we have this really bland offense. But he had some nice plays around the rim. He knocked down a couple threes, nice and ones. But those are the notable performances. We killed them, fast break situations, killed them in the paint. Thought we played as a team. The ball movement was beautiful. Let me know down below your thoughts, and peace out, y'all.